What it do, fam? And we are back. How's everybody doing today? Peace. Y'all doing good? Peace, peace, peace to you. I hope everybody's doing good out there, man. Keep your head on this swivel, though, for real, because it's serious out this thing, cuz. Do you understand? Serious out here. But for real, though, I hope everybody's doing good today, man. We are about to get into more TikTok conspiracies, because we ain't playing with them. We just gonna dove in, man, and see what these alleged conspiracies are talking about. I mean, because I don't really see nothing alleged about them, but we gonna see, you know what I'm talking about. I hope everybody got what they need. If not, we must proceed. So let's get her busting, shall we?
Does anyone want to tell me how in 1927 Universal Studios came up with this picture of the world, when the first picture of the world wasn't available until the 1960s through NASA? Almost 40 years later, how did Universal Studios know that this is what the world looked like? Especially from space, when we hadn't been to space yet. Does anyone know? Anyone want to guess?
Has Kanye West been cloned? If you've been on TikTok for all of 5 seconds, you've probably heard this Kanye West conspiracy theory stating that the rapper has actually been replaced with a clone. But where does the conspiracy come from? The answer, surprisingly, is that it originates from Kanye West himself. West is no stranger to controversy or sometimes off-the-wall remarks, and this recent freestyle of his is no exception.
It's the only, the real, not the phony. The phony will clone me. Just watch how they clone me.
But that's not all. People have taken to social media with height comparisons of Kanye and various celebrities before and after the supposed cloning took place. West's height is 5'8", and here he is with his former wife, Kim Kardashian, who is 5'2". West's new wife, Bianca Censori, is purportedly only 1 inch shorter than him at 5'7", but there are multiple photographs showing Censori who looks much shorter than West wearing heels, even while he's more or less barefoot. But the rumors don't end there. West's general appearance and strange new habit of wearing upper body padding has sparked some unusual headlines along with his strange new fashion choices. And the rapper himself keeps making strange allusions to other celebrities and various pop culture conspiracy theories.
Do you know the first time I ever took medication, why I was? Because I got mad at paparazzi.
I'm so sorry.
You know what paparazzi it was?
No.
The same one that shot Britney.
No.
We ain't going nowhere, baby.
You've been here for years.
If I ever went anywhere, we know why.
In plain sight.
You know what I'm saying?
West and Censori also made headlines after West's recent attack on the brand Balenciaga for its recent highly controversial and incredibly shady ad campaign, only to show up shopping at a Balenciaga store. Definitely an unusual 180 to make after coming out so hard against the brand. So, is all this just West's attempt to stay in the headlines or something more sinister? I'll let you be the judge, but I'd love to know what you think. Is Kanye West a clone?
And I'm gonna go for the latter.
One big publicity stunt.
I'm gonna go for the latter. Man, they doing all that, bro. They doing all that. We ain't gonna play. They doing all that.
Here we have the Rothschild Rockefellers. This refers to the 2 most powerful and richest families in the world. Starting off with the Rothschilds, which was 5 brothers that basically own and control the banking in all of Europe. Through this, they amassed a fortune. And since then have funded major military efforts, bailed out banks and even governments, and basically have their companies and hand in almost every country across the world. On the other side in America, we have the Rockefellers, who amassed their fortune through industrialization and the monopolization of the oil company. With this money, they were able to fund such projects like the atomic bomb, the invention of nuclear weapons, and even had a major role in funding and creating the UN. The actual net worth of both these families is unknown, but it could be anywhere from 500 billion upwards to trillions. And the theory here is that they control everything. From what you hear, to the money you receive, to the systems put in order that you follow. And of course, guys, with a lot of money comes a lot of power. But power leads to dangerous situations. And even though this is theory, revealing this information could be very dangerous because...
Get because they hate the truth to come out. Look at that. Look at that serpent right there in the middle, y'all. Right there in the middle, y'all. Who y'all think y'all playing with? See, but y'all don't want to believe me when I tell you.
Andrew Dawson filmed what he claimed was a giant on top of a mountain in Jasper National Park in Alberta, Canada. In the following days, he tried to get closer to find and film the creature, but in the process claimed to be stopped, harassed, followed, and stopped by the CIA. He then stops posting videos for over a month, and when he returns, uploads an update video that is extremely strange, and viewers pointed out that it seemed like it was forced. His next video that he uploads would be his last, because a month and a half later, sadly, tragedy struck. That's a brief overview of this strange saga. I just uploaded a full-length video documenting this on my YouTube channel.
Okay, you guys, I just found something out, and it's blowing my mind. Some of you may already know this, so don't come in the comments like, you didn't know that? No, I didn't. You know why? Because I live in the United States of America, where we have been brainwashed and not been taught about real history. Okay, if you guys go to the first video on this playlist, The Simulation, I filmed it on January 11th, 2021. And it was showing how all of the times were different on every clock, every digital clock. My boyfriend at the time was working. He had like 3 computers in front of him. They all said different times. His phone said a different time. He came upstairs to show me my phone said a different time. All the times were messed up. In my comments, people were like, what about analog clocks? As you can see, I have analog clocks. So I went to check those, and those were off too. So I was like, there's been a weird shift in the universe, because the ball also didn't drop on time at the New York ball. It was like a minute late or something. I was like, we've definitely shifted dimensions. Something's going on. Look at this. I recently came across a video talking about how the calendar is supposed to have 13 months, but the Gregorian calendar changed it, which is the calendar we follow today. So I see this comment, come to Ethiopia, you will see what you are saying. We have 13 months within a year. So someone commented, right now we're in 2014, year of Mercury. Today's date is Thursday, the 22nd of March, 2014. Our new year is on the 1st of September. And I was like, wait, they're living in 2014 and we're living in 2022? Is that why they say that all time is simultaneous, like past, present, and future, we're all living in it at once? But then I saw this comment. So if we're in 2014, according to your calendar, 2020 Gregorian calendar corresponds to 2012, your calendar, when the truth started to come out and people woke. So the Mayans were right. COVID really put everyone in 2020. Using your calendar, that means that the year 2012 was the end of the world. Mind blown. Okay, so of course I had to look up when our calendar started. It was in 1582. Ethiopian calendar started around AD 400. So they are obviously way more correct than we are. How many years did we lose switching to the Gregorian calendar? 8 years. We're lost in translation when the switch to the Gregorian calendar was made to the 15th century. And if you guys remember, the Mayan calendar says that the end of the world would be on December 21st, 2012. And even according to the Julian calendar, that would be on January 21st, 2020, when COVID was at its peak. So I'm freaking out in the middle of the night, and I message my dear friend JK Ultra, Jen. If you guys aren't following her, please go follow her, who's super into all this stuff. And I was like, girl, I'm sure you know this, but did you know this? And her and I are both freaking out because we didn't know this. So she goes and converts what day is December 21st, 2012 in the Ethiopian calendar. What does it calculate to us? December 31st, 2019. So the last day of the world, according to the Mayan calendar, was on December 21st, 2012, if we had kept up with the original calendar. But because we switched it, it was December 31st, 2019. So in 2020, the new world started. So we have already shifted into a new dimension. And this is why everything is so different. This makes so much sense. Are you guys freaking out? Because I'm freaking out.
I have this poster that exposes every conspiracy theory
I'm not freaking out because I was already on game. I'm sure a lot of y'all may be freaking out, and I'm sure most of y'all don't even believe it because you like your sleeping bag so much, which is fine. Stay in your little sleepy bag. It's cool. You know what I mean? We're not going to wake you. Now, the earth might wake you up, a little shake, shake, rumble, rumble, crumble, crumble, open up, gap, gap here, fire, fire there, wind, wind here. You know what I'm talking about? Here and there, like that. But, nah, I mean, people are going to wake up eventually, or you just won't. Vibe high or...
Today, we will decode the truth on the top secret U.S. military base named Diego Garcia. This base lies in the center of the Indian Ocean and has proven to be strategically vital in all overseas affairs. The drama revolving around Diego Garcia started in the 1960s, when the British Empire forcefully removed the locals from their homeland. Since then, this island has been shrouded in mystery. In 2008, Time magazine claimed that there was a black site prison on the island operated by the CIA, where detainees were held and tortured. Claims have also been thrown that the missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 secretly landed here, and that all of the passengers became experiments for the CIA. If you wanted to visit the island yourself, you would need to get special clearance. You aren't getting in there. Diego Garcia has been a topic of conspiracy for decades now. Who truly knows what horrors go on beneath the surface of that remote island?
Stuff like that. Real picture. Real goddess.
The government hiding an entire civilization from us. The Tartarians were said to be a civilization.
Oh, it's about to get good, y'all. It's about to get good. Some of y'all ain't gonna like it, but it's about to get real good.
Exponentially, as citizens were allowed to express their creativity freely, without the stress of work, leading to many great inventions and grand architecture. However, a powerful organization that controlled the world with a cell of energy had already invested heavily into energy production and lobbied against Tartaria as free energy, essentially take away all the control that they had. This organization tore Tartaria apart and erased them from our history books, making it seem like Tartaria never existed. But if you look carefully, the evidence of Tartaria is still there, in old maps, in architecture around the world that seem to advance.
Tartaria, and then one, I think, I forget what language that is. I think it's Arabic. What do they say? What do they call hell? What do they call hell in the Bible? Tartarus? Tartaria?
Places like the Taj Mahal, the Great Wall of China, or even the pyramids in Egypt looked way too advanced to have been built by the respective nations, but collectively, all have similar themes in their design.
We know
similar
who did that, right?
Aimed at harvesting energy. So,
Wake up.
But they don't want to. Man, that's all we're trying to say, y'all. Do the due diligence, wake your butt up, man. Six protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. That's carbon.
Need to focus and try not to let stuff bother you as much.
Don't let them lie to you. No mark of no beast.
Because you're human, and I was human. I am human still.
No, you're not.
But I was just
privacy.
No, you're not, buddy. Allegedly.
I thought that was a fascinating answer.
It's okay. You want to take off the hoodie?
No, I never take off the.
I know you don't. What's with that? There's a group of women in the audience that wish you would.
No.
Girls?
Whoa.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah, that's okay.
I should take off the hoodie.
Take off the hoodie.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Here. You get someone. You all right? What?
Oh,
my
really?
God, the inside of the hoodie, everybody. Take a moment. What is it? Making the
world more open and connected.
Oh my God, it's like a secret vault. Look at that, making the world open and connected, stream graph platform, and this weird symbol in the middle that is probably for the Illuminati. This weird symbol in the middle that is probably for the Illuminati. Oh my God, it's like a secret vault.
Right in your face, y'all. Come on, man.
Symbol in the middle that
it's
is
called
probably
double
for the
speaking.
Illuminati. Oh my God, it's like a secret.
Well, so. And that star right there is for our macabre. For the macabre. It has nothing to do with what they told you it has what to do. No. Absolutely not. Oh, yeah?
This is a part 2.
Oh, yeah?
My brothers and sisters in the Catholic faith, please wake up. What's up, guys? It's Calvin. Hit that plus number for more content like this and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Straight to it. This is an ex-pope. That's a satanic hand sign. Ancient art, satanic hand sign. I wouldn't recommend reading it, but these are satanic hand signs. And this is the name of the book. Famous people using these satanic hand signs.
I love you.
Here's a satanic person using that same hand sign. It's a very sad story. I'm not going to go into it. Here's a Baphomet using that hand sign. Here's a satanic high priest, Anton LaVey, using that satanic hand sign. The Beatles using satanic hand signs. Look at John Lennon. Ancient art.
And then some of y'all, listen here. For some people trying to put out information that's cool, I get it. But when it comes down to certain things, I feel that you really need to go a tad bit deeper. So you don't just go surface. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of y'all are doing surface information that I've been seeing. It's just been surface. And my advice is that you go deeper. Go deeper. Because everything that's being done, it has a significant meaning, yes. But most of what you see when you think it's satanic, it's being used by Satan is true. But it come from something else. And they're basically plagiarizing and tarnishing and tainting anything that would represent good. So like sign language, this is I love you in sign language. So you mean to tell me if someone is deaf and they did this to you, you're gonna automatically assume that they were Hail Satan? See, we can't do that. Now we can't do that. See what I'm saying? Because if you saw that from a distance, that's what you would think until you got up on this person and realized that, oh, they cannot talk. So they speaking in sign language. And when you realize that this is I love you in sign language, wow, makes you look like a complete ass in that moment. So that's when discernment comes into play. Okay, yo? So let's just, not sign language, that's sign language. Those are mudras. What you're looking at right here, what he's doing right now are mudras. That's not satanic, it's mudras. Okay? Not gonna let y'all play with, not gonna let nobody play with my stuff, man. This high stuff, I ain't gonna let nobody play with it.
Jesus with these satanic hand signs. Stay with me. And here's an ex-pope with an upside inverted cross on his chair. And then look at the comparison to the satanic.
I'm just not.
6-year-old Scottish computer engineer, Gary McKinnon. They are there to arrest him
on
behalf of the United States Justice Department for hacking into top secret computers at NASA and the Pentagon. McKinnon
for what?
Admits to the crime, but claims he uncovered evidence that the U.S. government was working with extraterrestrial beings.
There were a lot of text files that had lists of places, installations,
no wonder they came to get him.
Air Force bases, Navy sites, NASA sites. So there was a lot to go through. But I did find a goldmine of information.
According to McKinnon, he unearthed a secret U.S. military program that existed entirely in space.
I found the spreadsheet was actually titled in the column non-terrestrial officers, as well as officers' names. It had ship names. None of these were ocean-going ships. It was
in the ocean.
Well, the government got smart. They stopped doing all the inventions and all the technology themselves, because once they developed the technology themselves, they had to give you the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, where you can pull down the records and see exactly what they're doing. So now they subcontract out all the work to Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works, and all these places, right? Northrop Grumman. So you can't see what the hell's going on. You have no clue what's out there. I'm here to tell you the technology is 300 years ahead of whatever you could dream of. 300. Not 40, not 50, not 100, 300. Whatever you can think, whatever you can imagine in your mind, whatever you can conjure up and think based on whatever sci-fi movie you saw before, I'm here to tell you it already exists. It already exists.
knew
I went back on Google Earth Viewing Antarctica at this lab building that has reptilian skulls on display.
As a youngin', for some reason,
that's when I noticed a man with sunglasses and a beanie.
Well, until I got older, I started, really understanding what was going on. Now I understand a lot of this stuff. Now we're here checking it out. For the most part.
One point that I'll talk about without getting CIA's permission. Since World War II, we learned that there has been an alien hybridization of humans.
Exclusively since World War II?
World War II. That's when the CIA learned about it. World War II. That's what prompted me to look back at World War II and say, okay, where did this information come from?
But still, it should be a DNA record of that. We should be able to tell that.
Absolutely. And that's what's not released. That's still...
Well, but I mean, this is being done by academics. The government doesn't do the DNA research.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Well, sure, but it's not private, right? There's no classification of our DNA. You can't classify looking into our DNA. You can classify our DNA? You think that they're holding secrets of our DNA from us?
Certainly.
How could they do that?
Because the law allows CIA and the intelligence community to do operations like that because no one bothers to read the law.
So you think that they're going into like the university biology programs and saying, don't study this, you can't publish these documents?
Wouldn't that mean
man, y'all been listening to this dude.
From organizations like
look at him. He's serious. He ain't playing.
Once you give your blood,
he's that serious.
Once you give your saliva to 23andMe and these others, if you read the fine print, you gave away your DNA for the purposes of, creating
research.
Big pharma.
Is the CIA and other intelligence organizations working directly with these companies to limit what information they put back out to the populace?
I don't know. I don't know that. That's why I mentioned Cosmos ID, because there's a company involved in the human genome, involved in bioinformatics, involved in DNA, and then you look at the company, and then you look at who are the consultants to that company. It's a who's who of IC officers. And the company was started by somebody from the National Science Foundation. And so if you go back to FOIA and you go back to National Science Foundation and you research who these people are, all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, these guys are really well connected. In fact, one of the officers was CEO of EG&G. EG&G was the parking lot where Eric W. Davis allegedly had his conversation with Admiral Wilson. He went to the EG&G facility in North Las Vegas. And the guy who was the CEO of that company, who is the operations maintenance contractor at Area 51, is part of the scientific consultation team for Cosmos ID.
CERN does that big circle. It accelerates particles in that big circle around and around and around and around until they're traveling at just enormous velocity, and then they collide these particles together. And in that moment, it creates a moment that they think is kind of how the Big Bang started the whole universe. That's the whole purpose behind it. However, they also believe that there are parallel realities around us, other dimensions, and there could be other intelligence there. However, there's a reason God put them on the other side of that veil, and you might not want to open the door. Their own director of CERN has gave interviews to the British press in which he admits that's what they're trying to do. They want to open a door to another dimension. And he said, when we open this door, he said, something might come through it into our reality, or he said, we might send something through it into their reality. You can look that up. It's in the British press.
That's more than likely, that's where your cryptids are coming from. Your rakes and all these other little things, some of this extra stuff, not talking about the interterrestrials, the terrestrials, and the extraterrestrials, the ones that, like that we typically think about. I'm talking about like these cryptids, like Slenderman and all this type of stuff. I believe that's what's been going on, because come on, man. As far as we know, it was Bigfoot, dude. Neanderthal, I'm talking about caveman deal. Other than that, rakes. We got this Mawmaw thing. We got, I mean, these SCPs I've heard about. I mean, my daughter even called one out on the video. Told me that when she saw it, she said that's the SCP-0 something. I'll find out what number it is. I'll ask baby girl and see what she say. But she looked at the video and she was like, that's a SCP. So if that's a SCP and it's called a rake, and she knows what it is, then, all right.
The CERN was built. This is St. Genus Poetum.
And they know it's out there.
That's the name of the township. But in ancient...
And there's that.
There's a CIA document that came out. Everybody just started talking about it now. It's called the Adam and Eve story. It basically explains how the world is going to end. Has it been true? It makes sense. They say the world is going to end because the poles, like, you know, North and South Pole, they shift every 12,000 to 15,000 years. And once they shift, it causes like a giant, like, apocalypse. Big earthquakes, giant tsunamis. Once the apocalypse happens, we go right back to the Stone Age. And it said that our first humans, like as us, it was 10,000 years ago. So if you think about it, 10,000 years ago, we're in year 2000. We're at 12,000 years right now. And now you see like global warming and like that. Like in the book, it says that we are the 6th civilization that came out of the apocalypse. So we just get to a certain point in life and then it just... And that explains a lot, because remember how you were saying that the Sahara Desert used to be green and like Antarctica used to have forests like that? Yeah. That's what happens. Like it switches
everything, it flips. Yeah.
So now like some places turn cold, some places turn hot. That's why they was talking about like the flood in the Bible like that. That's probably what happened to Atlantis and
I was
like
just
that.
about to say Atlantis. It would make sense for a city in the water if the water wasn't there before.
Who in the Biltmore mansion?
It's not what happened. That's just the narrative that they're going to paint for you.
John Podesta
or
Art
that they
Collection.
Paint it for you.
This is John Podesta, the Senior Advisor to the President for Clean Energy Innovation and Implementation.
Rising in frequency.
Podesta has worked under Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and now Joe Biden, and is responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars. So why would he have graphic art of bound children with parts referencing the satanic Red Shoe Cult, who supposedly practiced child sacrifice? Is this meant to be art? Restrained children in underwear. John's brother Tony, hanging with his wealthy elite friends, noticed the red shoes.
That's why. That's why. That's why. And the raping of the planet, that and the raping of the planet, thought that was just gonna last forever. Come on now. Thought it was gonna last forever. That, all that going on, all this going on, all this that you see. And a pole shift. You think the pole shift?